Hi guys, welcome back. We have a special guest. His name is Leo. We actually just got him today. Yeah, we got him today and right now he's like exploring. He's like under my bed, exploring. He's on my desk now. He's looking at the mirror. Look at the camera. Look, that's you. That's you, Leo. Ese eres tú, Leo. Anyway, yeah, so he's exploring right now. He's going to all the rooms and just like running around. So we're gonna let him do that. But that's a weird intro, but I thought today we could film, or I could film, and I could tell you my top 10 books of the year so far, and then also 10 books I'm excited to get to in the second half of the year. So hopefully you get some recs out of this video. Hopefully you find a new favorite book. That's all I hope for, is that someone out there finds a new favorite book from this video. So let's get started. All right, so this is my stack of my top 10 favorite books of the year so far. This might change at the end of the year, okay? I will update you, but let's go ahead and get started. So first up at number 10, because I'm gonna go down. At number 10, we have Say You Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I actually really enjoyed this book. I know a lot of people didn't, but I enjoyed it. All of Abby Jimenez books are romance, but there's an underlying message, and it's more than just a romance, which was what this was to me. It basically, to me, it was like life is just moments, you know, and we're so lucky to have those moments. And basically this book follows Samantha and Xavier, and they have a meet cute. Like in all of Abby Jimenez's books, there's always a meet cute. So she finds this kitten and she takes the kitten to the vet, and the vet happens to be Xavier because he's a vet. And he says something that she doesn't like, and she proves him wrong, and then they go on this date, and it's the best date they've ever had. But she has to move away the next day. She moves to California to be with her mom because her mom is going through some things. So they decide to do a long distance relationship, and it follows the story on from there. And there's just some amazing quotes in here. Like, I'm surprised more people aren't sharing the quotes in here, because there's some very good quotes in here about life and just giving you some perspective about, you know, people and family and the people that are most important to you. And like let me read you one. They say that you won't remember what someone said, but you'll always remember how they made you feel. I don't think this moment would be the same if it wasn't for how it felt. And they just, because they're long distance, anytime they do get to spend together, it's just so special. And it just makes you appreciate more your life more in the moments you get. So let me find another quote. Okay, this is one that I really loved. There is nothing more beautiful than being a witness to someone's life, to know them inside and out and be with them through everything, share the same memories. Memories are everything. I want that. And it brings up memories a lot because memories are very important in this book. So yeah, I gave this book a 4.5 star. I really enjoyed it. Okay, next up at number 9, we have Our Infinite Fates. I picked this book up out of sheer, I don't even know. I didn't really see anybody speaking about this book, and I saw the edges and I was like, wow. And the title intrigued me, the summary intrigued me. It says here, they loved each other in 1,000 lifetimes. They've killed each other in every one. Hi.
¿Dónde está el gato?
Está debajo de la mesa. Okay, we're back. I'm sorry about the interruption. When you have kids, you just can't plan for this stuff. I told them, play on your tablets. We've had a full day. Watch a movie? Nope, they want to be next to me. But anyway, let's continue with this book. So it intrigued me, the title, like what it says in the front. And funny, it starts off the first chapter. Well, I guess not the first chapter because it's the first chapter of the prologue, but it starts in El Salvador, and I'm Salvadorian, and it's very strange, like, to see that in a book because El Salvador is so small. I feel like sometimes like people don't know what it is or where it's at on a map, so it was really interesting to see that. So I love that. And it made me more invested in the book. And I really enjoyed this book. I think I also gave it a 4.5 star. But yeah, basically it is what it says. So they basically die in every lifetime, and then they come back. And they always it always ends the same. They kill each other and then they're reborn, and it's like a cycle, and it's been going on for thousands of years. So, and you never know why it's happening. You don't know who started it, why they have to do it that way, but you get the ending, you understand why. And the reason I didn't give it 5 stars is because the ending felt a little bit rushed to me, and I wish we would have gotten more of them like in their past lifetimes rather than the present one, so we can understand them more. Because I get that they love each other, you know, but I wanted to see them fall in love more, if that makes sense. So yeah, this one was really good. It was a really nice surprise. And next up, I finally this year started reading ACOTAR. I'm slowly making my way through the series. I love this book. I also gave it a 4.5 star. It's actually better than the first one. So I mean, I don't think I can speak much on it, but it's basically about like there's a mortal realm, and then there's also a fairy realm, and Feyre, the main character, finds herself in the first book in the fairy realm, and a lot of stuff goes down. There's war brewing. She meets some people. I'm not gonna say names because I don't want to spoil anything. She meets some people, and she is very important to the story, very important to the world. She basically changes the entire world. And this book was phenomenal because of the found family. I haven't read found family in a series, especially a fantasy series, in a really long time. So I really enjoyed this book. I'm so excited to continue because I'm pretty sure the found family is just gonna keep going because her sisters also get a book. So yeah, I'm excited to join the club now. And then at number 7, I don't have the book with me, but it's Rewind It Back by Liz Tom Ford. That book was 5 stars. That book was 5 stars. It's part of the Windy City series. I did a vlog on it, on me reading the book. It's part of the Windy City series, and it's the 5th and final book. I know, but it's so good. It follows Rio and Hallie, and it's a second chance romance, and it's told in past and present perspective. So you get to see them fall in love as kids and then as adults and figure out everything that happened between them. And Rio's a hockey player. Hallie is a like home renovator kind of. So he hires her to renovate his house, and he has no idea that it's her. And they end up being again in the same area years later. Like I think it's like 6 years after they last seen each other. So I loved it. I love me a second chance romance because the tension, the falling in love again, the I don't want you but I do want you. It just does it for me every time. It just does it for me every time. Okay, let's move on to at number 6 we have Fearless by Lauren Roberts. This whole series honestly is a 5 star for me, but I know a lot of people didn't like the second book, but I really did enjoy it. I tabbed this book quite a bit. I actually ran out of red tabs and I had to use yellow, so I did tab it quite a bit. I can't really say much on this book, I guess, because it's like the 3rd in a trilogy, so I'll just explain to you what Powerless is. It's basically a fantasy. It follows Kai and Peyton. They live in the kingdom of Ilya, which is it's a kingdom of elites, and Peyton is an ordinary, so she has no powers, posing as an elite. And so Kai's job is basically to kill ordinaries. So the first book, they have to go through these like trials and these like deadly games, think like Hunger Games, and the story just unfolds from there. And obviously Kai and Peyton like each other, but they're literally enemies. Like they cannot be together. So the story goes on from there, and this is the conclusion to their love story. This book had me staring at the wall in the end, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, this is number 6. Next up is number 5. So The Favorites by Lane Fargo. This book was probably my most surprising 5 star of the year because I never thought that something so toxic, so messy. I mean, I guess Magnolia Parks is like that, but could it be like my favorite book ever? Like I recommend this to everybody. Like they're like, what should I read on my plane? The Favorites by Lane Fargo. This book kept it just kept me wanting to know what happened between them. So it's told like kind of part of it is like interview style, and then you get like her telling her story. So it's kind of like, I want to say like Daisy Jones and the Six in a way. So like that. And it follows Katarina and Heath. So Katarina is like this Olympic figure skater, and she's worked her whole life to be where she's at. And Heath is like her childhood like best friend, her childhood boyfriend, and he is so down bad that he learns an Olympic sport to be with her. Like, that's literally a quote from like the first couple pages of the book. So it's a romance, but it's also like her story and like her journey and everything that she does to get to the Olympic gold that she so badly wants. It's toxic, it's crazy, I don't even know how to explain it to you, but some of the quotes in here are insane. Let me find one. Like, obviously I mentioned the first one about him learning a whole Olympic sport to be with someone. But let me find another one that might intrigue you to read this book. Okay, I found one. Everyone thinks Heath Rocha was my first love. He wasn't. My first love was figure skating. So it just shows you like what she will do to literally like be on top, to get everything that she wants. And then this is a quote from the first page. No, the second page, I'm sorry. We used to joke that they were going to die in each other's arms or kill each other with their bare hands. Nothing in between. That just explains the book. Those two quotes embody this book. Yeah, this one was a 5-star. I actually plan on rereading it. I recommend this to everyone, and I'm gonna keep recommending it. You guys are gonna have to forgive me. Everybody's walking in. The cat, my husband, my daughter, my son. Everybody's walked in. So this is gonna be fun to edit. But anyway, at number 4, we have The Winners by Frederick Bachman, which is the 3rd book in the Beartown trilogy. Like I said, I can't really speak on this book specifically, but the Beartown trilogy is one of my favorite trilogies of all time. One of the characters in this series is probably my favorite character of all time, and that's saying a lot because I've read a lot. And this book has my heart. Like, if I talk about it enough, I would cry. Like, I'm gonna cry just thinking about it. But this series just has some quotes. Frederick Bachman's writing is magnificent. He could be talking about hockey, about anything, and it's just beautiful. Let me read you guys one quote. When we're young, we know nothing about all the very worst things that can hit us, which is just as well, because otherwise we'd never leave the house. And we would definitely never let go of those we love. So, yeah, that's the embodiment of the series. The first book just follows everybody in the town. There's old people, young people, middle-aged, kids, and you just get their perspective and how they fit into this town, and then tragedy strikes the town and how they handle that after. And it's all centered around hockey, because hockey is everything to this town. It's their financial, it's their social, it's everything. It's like, it's in every aspect. It's in the politics, it's in everything. So if the town is doing bad in hockey, the town does bad financially, and that's just how the story goes. And all the pressure is on the town's junior team, so the kids team, like I think they're like from 14 years old to like 16 or maybe 17. And the tragedy involves like one of the players from the team and one of the very important man from the town's daughter. So yeah, and then this series, after that book, it just becomes more. It becomes about family, about love, about just being true to yourself. And I have no words to explain this series. I have no words. Like, no. So, yeah. Then at number 3, we have another really nice surprise. But I mean, are we really surprised? Because Jessa Hastings has some of the most beautiful writing I've ever read. So we have The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. Look at the cover. And look at the pages. Slay. This book follows Georgia, and she is living in London, but she goes back home because her father just died and she needs to be there for the funeral. And she has a very toxic relationship with her family because of religion, because of just different things. So her brother is like her favorite person in the world, and he is an alcoholic and he's gay. So that's where most of the, disagreement comes comes from with her family, and she has her brother's back like 100%. So she is basically his person, and she does her best to protect him, or try to. And the romance is between her and her brother's sponsor, and his name is Sam Penny, and he is the most beautiful man ever. Everyone needs Sam Penny. He healed me in ways that I didn't even know I needed healing. I relate to Georgia so bad. She's not a perfect character, but I loved her. Her thoughts, everything I've thought about at some point. And Sam Penny is everything that she needs and more. And some of the quotes in here, like, I'm already like getting emotional. This is one of the quotes. There are a lot of kinds of love in the world, and not all of them make sense all of the time. And then the way she explains like religion, and the way she talks about her like relationship with God, especially because she comes from such a like toxic religious family, it just makes sense. And I didn't think it would, because religion is a very like, it's a very touchy subject for a lot of people. But I love the way she talked about it. I love the way she explained it. So yeah, I couldn't recommend this book enough. She's probably one of my favorite female main characters. I should mention that she is actually for a living, she does like profiling, so she can tell when someone's lying just based on their nonverbal cues. So she always knows when someone's lying. She can tell by their body language when they're uncomfortable, when they're concerned, everything. So she does that with every person in that she meets with her family, and they hate her for it, but it's just so funny. And I love that she does that, because it gives me a perspective on how she sees the world. So I really felt connected to her because of that, and that's so interesting. I've never read that in a book before. So coming at number 2, I know you're gonna be like, 2? Why is that book 2? It's everybody's number 1. But it's my number 2 because my number 1 is a very special book, okay? My number 1 is a book that really, 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 really made me cry. So this is very close to number 1, but this is number 2, which is Onyx Storm, which is the 3rd book in the Empyrean series. So first it's Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and then Onyx Storm. I'm pretty sure you've heard about this series before, but it follows Violet, and it's like this whole war college situation. Like, they all have like signets and dragons, and it's just like it's your basic romantasy, but it's so much more than that. Like, there's found family. Like I said, found family in a fantasy is hard for me to like, besides Fourth Wing, and I really liked it in Akatar. So I really enjoy this. The male main character in this series is my number 1 book boyfriend. Zayden Ryerson. That man can run me over with a car. He can. And I love Violet. Like, she is just such a badass female main character. She doesn't let anything stop her. Like, and Zayden is the perfect embodiment of, I'm concerned for you, and like, I want to take care of you, but I also want you to have your independence. You know what I mean? So I love that about him. And they're the best couple. They're the best couple. And they're just together, unstoppable. But yeah, I can't say much on it because it'll spoil things, but this continues their story and the war that's brewing, and that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, drum roll please. At number 1 we have Us Against You by Frederick Bachman, which is the 2nd book in the Beartown trilogy. As you can see, this is not annotated. It's not, because I had borrowed this from the library. And when I finished this book, I thought to myself, I need to own this series. I need to own this series. I need it like I need to breathe. And I plan on rereading this series to annotate this book. This solidified that character that I said that I love so much. This solidified why I loved him so much. I love him so much, and he deserves the world. And I'm gonna cry if I talk about him a little bit more, but it continues what I said about Us Against You, about Beartown, the town, This follows more like their rivalry with the town that's over, which is called Head, and they're usually like the main like hockey enemies. So it follows that, and what happens when tragedy strikes again, and what can happen to two towns. But it's just so much more than that. Like, it's about life. It's about, it just gives you a new perspective. It's all I'm trying to say. This series is God tier. I don't know if anything will ever top this, but anyway, that is my top 10. Now let's get into the 10 books. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Some of them are series or duologies, so it's gonna be more than 10, but I'm gonna count like the series and the duology as one book. My most anticipated reads for the rest of 2025, but they're books that are already out that I have like right here that I just have on my shelf that I haven't read. So yeah, let's get into it. So here's my stack. These are the 10 books that I'm excited to read, but it's really not 10 books. It's just, for me, I'm counting them as 10, but some of them are duologies or series. But anyway, let's get started. So first I have My Friends by Frederick Bachman, which is a new release. It came out in May. Again, Frederick Bachman can be talking about anything. A painting. But he writes it beautifully. And I'm actually already started this book. I'm like 30% of the way in. It's basically, again, told in like two perspectives or two timelines, I guess. The friends in this picture here, their life, and then also this girl who is like obsessed with the painting. It speaks to her. She loves it so much and she wants to see it in person, and the story goes on from there. So like I said, it doesn't seem like a lot, right? A painting, a girl who's obsessed with it, but it's so much more than that, because you get to see friendship and love and loneliness and death and grief and just everything. And the quotes, again, amazing. I've tabbed it quite a bit. I'm actually doing a reading vlog on this, but it's not going to be out before this video, I think. It's definitely not. There's just quotes in here. This one that spoke to me, and it's on page 7. Adults always think they can protect children by stopping them from going to dangerous places, but every teenager knows that's pointless, because the most dangerous places on earth is inside of us. Fragile hearts break in places and in dark alleys alike. See what I mean? I'm interrupted again. Okay, Mama, I love the kitty. I love it. This is Leo again. Okay, vamos. Llévalo. All right, I'm back. Maybe I shouldn't have started filming this on the day we got a cat, because they're too excited and they keep coming in here, but that's fine. We're just gonna deal with it when we have to edit. But next is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by B. Schwab. I don't really know much about this book. I just know that it made a lot of people cry, and I really want to read it. I just know it follows, obviously, Addie LaRue, and it's giving the age of Adeline, right? Like, she lives for a really long time and nobody remembers her because she made a mistake in 1714 is what I'm getting. So I'm really excited to read this, because I feel like it's gonna be one of those books that sticks with me, like Beartown, and like, like those books that are so unexpected because they're not romance, because I'm mainly a romance reader, but I've been diving into literary fiction, and I feel like those are the books that have really been sticking to me lately, like the ones that teach you about life. And I'm sure this is going to teach me about life. Please teach me, because I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Next, we have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Again, new release. It came out this month, I think, or last month. This month, I think. Yeah. It's really nice. And look at the end covers. This is also, I don't know what it's about, but if Taylor Jenkins Reid writes it, I'm going to read it, because her books are always so much more than what they are advertised as. This is about a woman who is like the first female astronaut, and it talks about her career, and there's a romance in here, but I just know that it's much more than that, and that it's going to teach me. It's going to teach me some things. So I'm excited, and I really don't want to know what it's about, because I want to kind of go into it blind, because like I said, those are the best books. Like, people explained Daisy Jones and the Six to me. It's about a band and what happened between them, and you're like, oh, oh, that sounds cool, but you're not like that, like excited to read something about that. but it ends up being one of the best books you've ever read because it's just way more than what it's advertised as, is what I'm trying to say. Let's go back to my roots, which is romance. Next, we have The X-Files, which is a second chance romance. It says, estranged exes must stick close together to save their best friend's wedding after a string of disasters in this swoony and steamy second chance romance. It follows Georgia and Eli. I love me a second chance romance. So I'm excited to read this. Look at the cover. Isn't that cute? That is so cute. I got this in Austin when I went to visit the biggest bookstore, the biggest independent bookstore in Texas, which is called Book People. Loved it in there. It's like 2 floors. So yeah, I'm excited to read this. This is so nice. Okay, and next is another one that I believe is not even a romance. I think it's more like women's fiction. Pictures of You by Emma Gray. I also have no idea this is about. All I know is that she was like in an accident and she forgets like her prior life, and her husband died in that accident. Yeah, her husband's dead, and her husband died in that accident, and she doesn't remember him. So some like her old friend from high school helps her remember. She only remembers things up to like 16. She has no idea about her adult life. So this sounds really interesting, and I'm really excited to read this. And honestly, this cover is giving summer for some reason. But yeah. And then the next one we have is Never by Jessa Hastings, which is basically like a Peter Pan retelling. But like, again, with Jessa Hastings, you can just say it's something, but it's way more than that. So it's about Daphne and Peter Pan, obviously. The way Daphne always knew Peter Pan would come for her. But Peter doesn't show for Daphne until she's 17. Inexplicably full grown and with no excuse for his tardiness. Daphne doesn't know what to think. Still, she has always been told that Peter Pan is her destiny. It's beyond choice to take his hand and leap into the stars no matter what comes next. I grew up loving that Peter Pan Jeremy Sumter movie. So I'm excited to read this, even though she said it's nothing like that. You know what? I'm going to ignore that. So I'm excited to get this. Also, look at this cover. You guys, like, the best covers. Like, Jessa Hastings has the best covers. She's coming out with the new book. July 15th, I already pre-ordered it. It's called Time of Your Life. I already pre-ordered it. Like, I trust her. I will read anything that she writes. Next, we have The Hunger Games. It's not a trilogy anymore because we have The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I guess The Hunger Games collection is a better word. I have not read The Hunger Games. I know. But look, listen. I am from El Salvador, right? I came here when I was 4 years old. So growing up, everybody around me spoke Spanish. No one really spoke English. So I was not really into like pop culture things, okay? So it wasn't into like things that were popular for kids my age. I was reading other things or doing other things. So I didn't understand the hype. I wasn't on social media. I didn't speak to people who read or whatever. You know, for me, it was mainly what I read were like Spanish books. I remember reading Out of My Mind, I think it's called. I read The Series of Unfortunate Events. I read a lot of books for school, but I also read on my own time. And they were mainly books about, you know, like, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Esperanza Rising, like about the Latin and, you know, the Latina community and the things that Latin people go through, Hispanic culture. I read mainly that kind of stuff. So that's why I haven't read that many things. But I plan on reading it. My mother-in-law got me this for Mother's Day, you guys. She loves me. She loves me a lot. She could say she doesn't, but she does. I know she loves me. Anyway, I have here all of them, including the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And I plan, as my reward for reading this, to buy Sunrise on the Reaping. Hopefully by then it's out in this like look, in this pretty edition look, because these are like a collector's edition kind of thing. So the edges are pretty cool. Let me show you guys. See? So hopefully by then Sunrise on the Reaping is out. I doubt it though, because I plan to get to these soon. I kind of want to do a reading vlog for these. Should I? Let me know. Let me know if you guys want me to do a reading vlog for these. Give me 1 second. Let me put this back in the cage. Okay, and next we have A Court of Wings and Ruin, which is the third book in the ACOTAR series. And the last book kind of left on a little bit of a cliffhanger. Sorry, you're falling. I'm so sorry. Let me fix you. You're still falling. No, you fell. Okay, let me fix you. Okay, next we have A Court of Winds and Ruin, which is another book in the ACOTAR series. I'm so excited to read this because the last book, I wouldn't say it's a cliffhanger, but it's just like, where do we go from here? So I'm very excited to read this, and it's a very thick book, so I'm kind of scared. It's actually my TBR for this month, so we'll see if I get to it because it's kind of big. But I'm excited to read it because the found family has been everything. The found family has been everything, and I'm so excited to see where these characters go, where the story goes, and yeah, I'm excited. And next we have a duology, which is Heartless Hunter and Rebel Witch. I'm so excited to read this because it's advertised as an enemies to lovers, and I love that. Basically, she is a witch and he's a witch hunter, so they gotta kill each other, and I love that. So they literally cannot be together. They cannot. And she's like a vigilante kind of thing, like she's helping other witches and he's killing witches. So yeah, I'm really excited to see where this goes, and who knows, I might end up loving it, and it might be one of my favorite duologies. Okay, lastly we have another duology, Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. All I know is that it is like fantasy, but like very not like high stakes fantasy. That they're like in the middle of a war, and there's like this magic typewriter, and she's sending letters to her brother, but it's actually going to this other guy that's her rival, I'm assuming. So yeah, I'm excited to read this. These covers are really cute too, and I was like so hyped to read these when this one came out, but I never read them, so I need to get to them because I don't know why I prolong books that I know I'm gonna like. That makes no sense. Anyway, let me grab the stack. This is the stack of the books that I want to read for the rest of the year. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you got a book rec out of this. Hope that you're now excited to read another book. So I will see you in the next one. Bye.